My name is Lenz. I'm a professor of medicine and preventive medicine at the USC Norris Comprehensive Cancer Center at the Keck School of Medicine at USC. I'm also on the board of directors for the Wunderklo Foundation. Unfortunately, I cannot spend this night with you and celebrate these incredible achievements of Wunderklo and the impact it has made for many patients, not only within the US, but around the world. However, I don't want to miss an opportunity to give you a little bit update what has happened over the last 12 months. And with the help of Wunderklo funding, we were able to achieve a lot of progress, not only in research, but also clinical therapeutic trials. Let me start with last year's, because I was not there either, because it's always the time of the European Society of Medical Oncology meeting. Because last year I presented for the first time the effect of immunotherapy for patients with metastatic disease who are microsatellite unstable. This will move into first line and will change the paradigm for the treatment of metastatic disease. What is my excuse for this year? We have again an oral presentation, and this presentation shows a completely new biomarker for patients treated with an EGF receptor. There are a lot of biomarkers around. In colon cancer, not so much, but this one is extremely unique. It's not published, so you are the first one to hear about it. And it is a marker called ARID1A. This trial is the key and was one of the major projects within Wunder project, because we have access to over 44,000 tissue and blood samples. We already have revolutionized the way we look at colorectal cancer. We just published a paper a couple of months ago showing and using gene expression analysis divides colon cancer in 4 groups. And these 4 groups are distinct in biological activity of pathways. These are 4 different colon cancers. Now they are very prognostic, meaning one group is doing much better than the other, whatever treatment you do. But for the first time, we have a tool to develop drugs specifically for each group, since they have different activated pathways. This already has impacted drug development at all major pharmaceutical companies as well as academic centers. So we will see this impact for the next years to come. I also want to tell you a little bit about Christina Curtis. You probably hear tonight from her. We just published a few weeks ago one of the most exciting scientific breakthroughs in colorectal cancer research. And it showed for the first time that when we use single cell molecular classification, that we can predict if a tumor will be or is metastatic at the time we have tissue from the primary tumor. This will have dramatically impacting management of colon cancer. Should we take out the primary tumor? Should we give adjuvant treatment? What adjuvant treatment? So this is an incredible achievement, only possible because of the collaboration with Dr. Christina Curtis and the Wunderklo Foundation. So we're writing history on basic scientific new discoveries, as well as advancing clinical trials and new treatment options. As we have achieved enough, we still struggle. We still don't cure all patients. We are doing much better in a way that we cure more and more, but it is one step at a time. It's just not one drug which will cure all cancer patients. So we are still putting a lot of effort and money into new drug development, and particular smart drug development. Remember, we talked about the Down syndrome gene. We have synthesized a peptide which binds to the target, which is now shipped actually 2 days ago to Sweden, where is one of the world experts on this particular protein, where we can test quickly and effectively if our protein does what it should do in order to develop further. And the other one you probably remember was the beta defensin. It's the protein we identified in the small bowel, which protects the cancer in the small bowel development. So here we had also progress made. We actually, with some of our preliminary data funded by WunderGlow, we got just a $200,000 grant from Curate. So we will push that even further. The icing on the cake, and hopefully will be funded, is we just submitted another major grant for the Moonshot initiative. What we're going to ask the NCI to fund is methylation signatures and whole genome sequencing. Never done in that extent on a large annotated clinical cohort. If there are additional markers, targets, we will find it. Because of the tremendous data we will generate, we need help. We now engaged artificial intelligence in order to analyze and be smarter to find subgroups, molecular defined, which may benefit more from one to the other treatment. And what I'm most interested in, to find better ways and better targets to treat. So we are living in a very exciting time where we work very closely to take advantage of every knowledge to advance the field of better treatments to achieve really the goal, my goal and the goal of WunderGlow, to cure this disease. We need your help in that. I mentioned a few times we apply ongoingly for funding. In order to be competitive, we need preliminary data, such as for the drugs I discussed, and then we can go in for NIH-funded grants. Otherwise, it is just not enough. Very expensive to do this kind of research. But our data already impacted patients on a global level, and you should be very proud to be part and a supporter of this foundation, which has changed the lives around the world. So please enjoy this incredible evening of the 8th annual Annette Cook Cancer Warrior Awards. And as Gloria always taught us, let's love life. So have a wonderful evening. See you next year. Good night.